All right. Okay. Okay, please go ahead, Juju.
Okay. Morning, everyone. My name is Duduzile Matema, and I'm from Women's Institute for Leadership Development. And it's a pleasure to meet you all. And for today's training, today and tomorrow's training, I really hope to learn quite a lot, especially when it comes to remaining relevant in an era whereby there is so much information overload, because I feel like at times as CSO organizations, it becomes very difficult to continue being relevant, especially when so much is happening and when there are citizen journalists who are actually somehow doing the work that we do as well. So I'm hoping to learn a skill or two in being relevant in an era whereby there is so much information that's going on. And basically that's what I hope to learn from the training. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Audrey, are you there? Right, so I think the other guys can always introduce themselves at some point. Now, I think maybe Maria, would you want to say something? Okay, so Constance just sent a chat there. She's looking to learn more and that sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for the introductions. Just to confirm, we have Wild, IYWD, Patsime, WeCause members. Yeah, I think those are the organizations that we're having now. So without wasting much of your time, I'm going to allow Tinashe to take over. He's going to be our facilitator for today. And again, please be free to ask questions and let's make this more interactive. Thank you very much. I'll leave time to Tinashe.
Right, so thank you very much, Kudzi. So now maybe I thought Kudzi was going to introduce me, but I might as well do that myself. You know, they say that you know, unless the lion writes its story will be told by others. So I think it's better if someone, you know, maybe perhaps tell their own story. So I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Tinashe Nyarwanga. Am I able to share my screen here?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great. You can just. Right, so my name is Tinashe Nyarwanga, and I am the CEO of I'm the CEO of Social Me. Right, there you go. Right, all right. So I'm the CEO of Social Me. Social Me is a creative digital agency. You know, that's just our website right at the top there. We do a lot of digital campaigns. So when IBM team approached me to then say, look, Tinashe, we have this group that wants to learn how to run campaigns, how to do certain things on social media and stuff like that, I was more than happy. Additionally, I've also worked as an advisor for FOIO IMS. I think some of you might be familiar with it. And I think I worked with one or two partners in this in this meeting as a digital media advisor and consultant. I've done a lot of work within the civic society and not-for-profit organizations. You know, I think I've also done we've done some exciting and amazing campaigns with GMC as well. I think one of our most recent and exciting campaign was a 16-day, the gender campaign where, where we're campaigning against gender violence and so on, which predominantly ran on social media, and a lot of participation and stuff like that. I think these are some things that I'm going to just show you and so on. But just maybe as I go through, these are some of our best works as social media. I think we did last year. We did a campaign for Zimbabwe where, we simulated an accident. Maybe you guys might have noticed that. So this actually led them to tweet this on this thing for Thursday. We're grateful to our partner Social Media, led by Tina Ranga, with whom we worked to bring to life the award-winning digital marketing campaign of the year. They won this under the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe. Last year as well, we also managed to work with to do Zimbabwe's first immersive digital marketing campaign, where we told a story on WhatsApp, a drama on WhatsApp. It's read predominantly on WhatsApp. It had never been done before in Zimbabwe. So, look, as an organization, as an agency, we are always looking at, pushing the boundaries and really utilizing social media in an exciting manner. Some of the examples that I'm going to be talking about, I think you guys will, I will just share some of the stuff that we've done, because if you allow me to, this is the pin tweet. All right. You can see these guys have exciting stuff happening on their pages. Yeah, so this is part of what we were doing. I just want you guys to see. So I'm just scrolling a bit. You guys are doing a lot of work. All right, just bear with me. So this campaign was a very exciting campaign, in that we managed to gain a lot of organic, traction going, with a lot of people communicating and stuff like that. So I think this is when we launched it. As you can see, look at the faces here of those women. You can see probably, as you can see, you can actually tell that, look, this is not real, it's makeup. But the reason why we did it was, to get the engagement that we got here. As you can see, this is pretty much organic. It wasn't sponsored in any way. You look at those numbers of retweets, look at the number of likes and so on. This is the kind of traction that you want to receive when you do your campaigns. You don't want to do a campaign where you're the only one who's liking. Maybe it's you, your directors, and and if you're a director, maybe your colleagues and so on. They say, no, you're doing something on social media. It won't be social media, because you simply talk to yourself. You really want to. When you do a campaign, it really needs to go out there. You really want people to see exactly what you're doing, and also so that you build that talkability. I know when you talk about talkability, most people start to think of mambos and stuff like that. What I'm actually saying is that you don't necessarily have to be like mambos, but there are other ways, like for instance, that I'm just showing you, which you can actually use and deploy to actually generate a lot of talkability, and where people actually talking about you and stuff like that. In this session, I'll just talk about some of the stuff that you can do. and as well as some of the tactics and how to actually plan a proper campaign and all of that, so that you guys can actually benefit and can actually run award-winning campaigns, or at least campaigns that actually make any impact and effect. Yeah? Are we together there? You see, the thing about Zoom meetings, that you never know, maybe you have lost connection and you're just talking to yourself, if you know what I mean. But I hope we're together, and I hope you guys are listening. Please feel free to feel free to talk to me and to give me feedback and stuff like that. Yeah. Right. So, fantastic. I'm just gonna share something with you. Yeah.
We are.
Right. All right. I'm just gonna share something with you here. It's a video, and it just speaks to the digitalization of what's happening and stuff like that. Yeah. Can you assist me? I need to ensure that sound is, people can hear the sound. You need to go with the options.
Right here.
No, right at the top. So then they should be somewhere. It says, okay, maybe that's not there. Go with this more. All right, so guys, I'm gonna play the video. You guys will let me know if you can hear the sound. Is that right? Because it won't work if you can't hear the sound. Let me know. So I can't hear the sound as well, so the sound is not showing. Go and say it's mute, like the button there. Let's do it this way. Okay. Can you remove sound from there? Yeah.
Okay, play the morning playlist. Okay, play morning playlist. Okay, we'll play music in all rooms. Hey Google, I'm listening. Your flight to Portland is delayed by 30 minutes. Change my dinner reservation tonight from 7:30 to 8. Your reservation at Andina is now confirmed for 8 p.m. Hey Google, text Louise. Flight is delayed. Dinner moved to 8. Okay, message sent. Morning.
Morning. Hey Google, turn the lights on in Kevin's room.
I thought you finished that already.
I forgot. Okay, Google. What's apples in Spanish?
Manzanas. Hey Google, has my package shipped? Yes, it's already shipped. It'll arrive tomorrow.
Was that for me?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Okay, Google. How many stars are in our galaxy?
Well, there are about 100 to 400 billion stars, according to space.com.
Which star is the closest?
According to NASA, the nearest star system is Alpha Centauri.
Can you show me what it looks like on the TV?
Hey Google, how's the traffic from Double Rock School to the airport?
Your normal route has heavy traffic. There's a faster one that'll take about 35 minutes. I've sent it to your phone.
Okay. Go.
Dad,
Hey Google, what's on the calendar today?
The first event is Space Day at Kevin's school. It starts at 8 a.m.
Space Day. Are you ready, buddy?
ready.
Let's go.
Right, guys. Did you manage to hear any of that?
Yes.
All right. So maybe I'm not sure how it was coming out, but I'm just gonna share this video within the chat. I think this is probably the best way. You guys, I'll just give you a minute. Sorry, 2 minutes to just watch this video on your own machines. Then we pick it up from there. Yeah. Or maybe just a minute, perhaps. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I was just saying, there's a link I sent in the chat, so I'd ask you guys to, you know, to just, you know, play that on your own. Yeah. So perhaps maybe for the sake of progress, I think we can just go ahead. And yeah, I think you guys can always watch it maybe during break or that sort of thing. The reason why I wanted you guys to see it, I think it would have worked better if it was face-to-face, but nonetheless, you guys can just watch it on your own. I think it's important that you do that. And the whole idea why I'm sharing that is I just want you guys to have an appreciation and know exactly where it is that we are going to the kind of space that we are now living in, digital space, where everything is automated, we have voice search and all of that. And also to so that it picks your you know, your brain, and so that you can actually try to see where it is that to stand right now as a person, as an individual, and as an organization. Now, to support this, I usually also like to share some of the statistics to do with, so that we know exactly what it is that we are shooting at, isn't it? So I'm just gonna share some statistics as well. Right, there you go. So these are statistics by Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a very popular social media platform which allows you to schedule tweets and also get some analytics and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see how people are actually using social media and digital marketing in Zimbabwe right now. So this is globally. I'm not really going to get into the global stuff, but globally, you can actually see that there are about 7.8 billion people in the world, of which 59% or 60% are using the internet. So what it means is that you potentially have an audience of potentially have an audience of 4.2 billion or 4.6 billion. These are people that you can actually reach. What's also exciting when you look at these things is the fact that of the 7.8 billion people, 5.2 billion people actually use mobile phones. So I always say that whenever I talk to organizations, that as an organization, you don't have to think desktop. You don't have to think, you know, laptops and other gadgets. You have to be mobile first. You have to be a mobile first organization. When we look at your content that you're producing on social media, is it mobile first? Can someone clearly access it on the mobile? Is your website mobile responsive and all of those things? As you will see, the stats for international are actually quite similar to you know, what we have here in Zimbabwe as well. Globally, you can actually see that Facebook there is the most visited platform, followed by WhatsApp, then Facebook Messenger, then Instagram. So you can see the first 4 apps, they belong to Facebook. Then you have Amazon, then you have Twitter, then TikTok, there, and Snapchat. So this is actually quite important. Yeah. Now let's come closer to home. In Zimbabwe, we have about 15 million people. Of 15 million people, 99% or 98.5% have mobile phones. You see what I was talking about? So are you a mobile first organization? How does mobile fit into your digital strategy or digital marketing strategy? Yeah. And of the 15 million people in Zimbabwe, 5 million use the internet. So as organizations, I just want to know how many followers do you have on your platforms? How many people are you reaching via maybe your website? In terms of active social media users, in Zimbabwe, there are about 1.3 million. So what it also means is that, which is about, maybe 9%, but how many do you have on your platforms? How many followers and so on? So already you can actually see that 5 million people are actually using the internet. So there's a really, really huge opportunity there for you to actually do something, reach your people and that sort of thing. So maybe just by show of hands, is there anyone on this platform, on this call, on this meeting, in this webinar, who can say, we actually have more than 10,000 followers? We'll start off at 10. Let's start off at 1,000. 1,000, anyone? Just by show of hands. Yeah, to. So the other guys, you're less than 1,000. Huh? Fatima, yeah. What about 5,000? Anyone? Fatima, you're about 5,000? What about 10,000? Anyone? So already you're beginning to see that, look, we are really missing a lot. There's a lot of opportunity that is out there, but we are simply scratching the surface. You see, like I indicated earlier on, social media isn't just about you, yourself, your directors, and people within the organization. Social media, you need to be making impacts within the community, within the nation, and that sort of thing. I think it was, I can't really remember. It's probably, let me just give me a moment. Is it Lezina? Lezina, if you're still there, you said you want to win an election, isn't it? Now, how are you going to win an election if you're not going to utilize social media in a way that allows you to canvas for votes and stuff like that? If you have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, and you're only tweeting to maybe 100 people, 500 people, and so on. And of course, the numbers do not necessarily matter, but it's that rich impressions and stuff like that. Today, we're also going to talk about, like the analytics, the backend, the impressions and stuff like that. All of that is very, very important so that we can see if you're making any difference. They say what gets measured gets done. Numbers, they say men lie, women lie, but numbers do not lie. Numbers tell a story. So the measurement is very, very important as well. Yeah. So these numbers are very, very important, and you guys should always take note of these numbers and stuff like that. Yeah. Now let's move further forward as well. So as you can see, this is the year-on-year growth, the changes. So you'd find that it's growing, and this was in 2021. So if you were to do the same study this year, you'll find that the numbers will actually be a lot higher and better, isn't it? So this is something which I think is very, very important, and you guys need to take note of this. I'm going to share again The link to this is also that you can always, just take note of that, isn't it? Right, internet use. So remember, I said 5 million use the internet, which is about 33% of the population, isn't it? And from the annual change, there is we had a 5% increase. And now look at this number: 94% of the people who use the internet, they access it via mobile phones. So whatever content that you're creating needs to be suited for the mobile phone more than the desktops, the laptops, and stuff like that. It's very, very important. Right. I think this is not really important. So, when we talk about these things, it's very important because, look, sometimes we say people are not on social media and that sort of thing, but as we can see, 5 million people actually using the internet, which is a very high number. So we say, no, look, guys, we can't do this, it won't be effective. It's not effective.
Recording in progress.
It's not that it's not effective. The whole idea is you just want to make sure you're doing the right thing, doing the right strategies and so on. If you do that well, I'm sure you can actually make an impact. This is actually going to the nitty-gritty, but I don't think it's important. Now, look at this one. So the most searched query, like when people go on Google, people are searching for Zimbabwe. Then you have news, download, Facebook, Google, WhatsApp. So it means that people actually look for Facebook, people actually look for Google more than they look for WhatsApp and YouTube. Why is this important? It's important because it kind of tells you where the traffic is, where the platforms that you actually need to consider in your strategy and all of that. Is that right? Also, again, people like soccer, as you can see, EPL is at number 11 there. Then Zima, I think, is one of the most popular websites. So what it can actually mean is that maybe if you're going to advertise something, maybe you should consider Zima. Zimbabwe News, Herald is also up there as well, Instagram, So these are, these things will tell you and guide you where you need to go and what you need to do. Are we together there? So you're not just shooting in the dark. You just say, now we got to go and do TikTok. Why are you doing TikTok? What do the numbers, support that argument and that sort of thing? Yeah. Now, this in terms of social media use. Now, I've already spoken about this. Then Facebook. So Facebook, you have 1.2 million people on Facebook. 57% of the people on Facebook are actually male. You can actually see here. They're actually male there. 43% are female. So it's very, very important. It's very, very important. So you want to be able to do that. Then this talks about devices. It's not very important. And then YouTube. Now, apparently, Texas did a study last year, and from the study that they did, they realized that the second most visited website in Zimbabwe is actually YouTube. Now, when you go on YouTube, and I think a number of artists, musicians, they released a few songs, just this year, this month. But you can actually tell that, look, someone is actually sitting on 500,000 views. Takura is sitting on a lot of views. So you probably must be asking yourself, why do people say that people in Zimbabwe do not have data when these musicians are getting a lot of views? Are we together there? So my question to you now is, how much of your content is actually video? Are you guys even doing any video? When you do video, which platforms are you sharing that video on? It's okay, you guys can answer in the comment section. I hope you sit together there. Then you have Instagram. Instagram is about 340,000. You know, people who are using Instagram. Instagram is very, very exciting. It's also another channel that you can use as well. Then you have Messenger as well, Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger, now it's actually a platform on its own. So already again, look, 270,000 people are actually using Facebook Messenger, which I think if you're going to be using any adverts and stuff like that, this is a platform that you should also consider. Well, then you have LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you know, it's often a forgotten platform, but look at the numbers there, 610,000. I'm sure, Lizina, if you were to get all of these people, to vote for you, I'm sure you could, you know, you can find yourself as a vice president or something. Yeah. Then Twitter, you know, Twitter doesn't have a lot of people, but its impact and effectiveness is not measured by the number of who actually come to the platform. Its impact and effectiveness is measured by the number of screenshots that people take. These screenshots will always usually find themselves where? On WhatsApp. If you have seen, you know, this is because of the way that Twitter is just generally built to be like. It's built for more thought leadership and you know, establishing yourself as an authority in this field and so on. Yeah. There's a comment that just came through. How does one use Messenger to send adverts? I'm just going to show you. This is the reason why we're doing this session. But the reason why I'm starting with this, you know, with the stats and stuff like that, is so that we can actually see where we need to operate from, isn't it? We just don't want to do things for the sake of doing those things. And your question actually helps cement, you know, what we're doing here, because already now you can actually see that, look, we can actually do some ads here and so on. Twitter is a very powerful platform, like I'm saying, because it, you know, its impact is actually measured in terms of the number of screenshots that people actually share on WhatsApp and other platforms and stuff like that. You know, the screenshots from Twitter are shared on WhatsApp, Instagram, and all of those other platforms. Yeah, so then we talk mobiles, but I'm not going to go here. I'm just going to send this link to you so that you guys can actually see for yourself. Yeah, any comments, questions so far? I'm just sharing this so that you guys can. All right. I've just said that so that you guys can actually, it's in your own spare time, have a look at that. Yeah. Now, I'm just going to jump straight into the presentation. But maybe before I do that, I just want to, like, it's supposed to be interactive and so on. I just want to, maybe just from a few people, I just want to know which platforms you think you want to jump onto, and why. And also, I just want to know from a few people how you've been using your social media, and has it been effective, and which areas you think you want to improve on before we go further. Again, I also want to know what you consider to be successful metrics, isn't it? Just being active on social media, again, remember, it's not just about you just posting stuff, but you also want to ensure that you're actually reaching the people that you're reaching, and all of that. Yeah. Anyone? You love to explore TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. Tino, yeah. Great. These are other platforms that I'm going to talk about. So whilst you guys think of questions and stuff like that, I'm just going to share the screen.
Can I juxtapose? Can I make my comments in both Shona and English? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's a problem unless anyone objects. Go ahead.
Pane inonzi Twitter space yakauya mazuva ano iyi. And I see a lot of people vana Hopo Chingono vanhu recently when CCC was launched, they're holding very successful Twitter spaces with a lot of engagement. Like you would have thousands of views on Twitter spaces. And it's just a platform I'm curious about how you can go about just creating conversation on Twitter space and actually securing people to come. I think it's a platform looking into as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with what you're saying. So I think, yeah, we'll discuss that today, among other things as well. Right. So as we get into that, before we even get into that, let's look at what social media is, how to effectively run campaigns, and which platforms to use and how to use them, isn't it? So again, it has to be very interactive and so on. So this is something that we're going to do, and I'm going to ask you guys to do a few things and stuff like that. Yeah. So let's just jump straight into the presentation. All right, give me a moment. Right, so here we go. So what is social media marketing? I think I'll start from there. I'm just going to give an overview of what I think. So just having a presence on social media doesn't mean that you're effectively utilizing the platform. Also, just getting people to like and follow you is not a sure way to actually, utilize social media very, very well. Other people just use it to sell their own ideas and so on. What you want to do is you'll find that with platforms such as Facebook, you can actually have, let's say, like Batsime, they have maybe more than 1,000 followers or likes. When you post something, you actually find that it can actually reach just a few people. The reason being, Facebook is what we call an algorithm. So this algorithm determines what we see, what your audience sees, and what it doesn't. So if, say, for instance, I post something as GMC, for instance, maybe Kudakwashe, Poshia, actually, these guys are my followers. If they do not interact with that post, like maybe 1, 2, 3 times, Facebook will not share it, will not show it to them next time. So you'd find that gradually, your posts will begin to just, reach fewer and fewer people. So what does it mean? It means that you actually have to really ensure that you have engaging posts, you have a content strategy that you actually stick to, and where you want to actually say, look, I want to have more engaging posts. I want to have posts that will actually reach more people, make people want to comment, like the post, or even share the post. It's only when you do that, that's when you actually have more people actually engaging with your post. If you actually see, guys like Zim Celeb, IRR, Zima, and so on, the reason that they have, that kind of reach is because they know about the Facebook algorithm. And they are now actually saying, guys, if you are to have reach more people, we need to have content which actually makes people want to engage. Now, if I'm to ask you guys to show me the back end of your social media pages, you will see that some of you, maybe you only have 5, or maybe you are only reaching 20 people, 500 people, and so on. To illustrate, remember, like I indicated, this is a very practical session. So I'm just going to go and go to my Facebook account and just illustrate what it is that I mean. Eh? So I'm just gonna show you part of some interesting stats. So look at this, some of this posts there. You see, look at how many people it reached. 14,000, eh? Look at the number of comments that are there. And if you look there, it's not even boosted, eh? Can you see that? This just shows you what good content looks like, eh? And the post there is, how long does my story last? It's a very engaging post, isn't it? And this is one of the things, I mean, like, you can relate to this. So when you're creating content, like I indicated, it's not just about, just being on a platform. You want to be able to say, this is what we can do, and stuff like that. So if you also look at this one as well, even the numbers there, the comments they are there. Look at this, it's the same thing, eh? So the whole idea is, you want to say, what sort of content am I creating? How many people are getting to you know, to talk about this and stuff like that. I'm also going to just show you some of the analytics. I think this is for me. This is my personal one, but already look at the number of impressions that you can see. There's 80,000. So already, of which it is actually going down, but already you can actually see that whenever you're creating content, you want to be able to make that impact and stuff like that. Okay? All right, just getting back to my presentation. Yeah. But again, why is it important? It's important because for search engine optimization. So when you talk about search engine optimization, what is it that we are talking about? Search engine optimization, you realize that when I was showing you those stats and the second most visited website was Google or something, it's because people, whenever they're looking for something, they go on Google and they just type in that, look, I'm looking for this and that. And depending on what they're looking for, if what they're looking for is related to what you do, does your name come up? Can we say that, when I go in there and I talk about maybe women advocacy issues or women development issues, is it CUDA? I'm not sure. Does your organization come up there in terms of Google and stuff like that? Why is this important? It's important because you want people to find you everywhere you go. And if you're doing social media very well, this will ensure that you always come right up at the top. Then you also want to increase your recognition and loyalty as well. You also want to reduce the amount of money that you're putting in your ads. Like the post that I showed you, it's mainly organic. They didn't even post something, isn't it? But now when you talk to a lot of individuals and people, you find that when they talk about digital marketing, say, let's do a sponsored ad, let's do this and that. But before we even do that, is our content worthy enough or exciting enough, engaging enough, or entertaining enough that people want to, want to see it and that sort of thing? So yeah. So when you come up with your strategy, you want to come up with your goals. Then you also want to come up with a budget. Then you want to come up with a plan of action, isn't it? Again, it's also very important that you make it part of your communication plan. The digital social media strategy should not exist outside of the communication plan. It fits into the communication plan. So, how do you do this? How do you develop your social media strategy? How many of you guys, by show of hands, actually have a social media strategy in place, like a document? Anyone? Are you guys still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? Right? To notate that they have a social media strategy document. Sharon? Yeah. So these things are important because it should guide how you use social media from here forth. So today, as part of the workshop again, we also look to develop a social media strategy. Maybe possibly we'll do this maybe right at the end or tomorrow. And this will become your working document, something that you actually begin to use. We'll also develop a content plan. today. I think this will be homework, so that tomorrow when you guys come back, we can also discuss and go through it. Okay? But when you're developing your social media strategy document, you want to look at things like where are we now? You know, in fact, I would like to. I want everyone in here to actually answer these questions and list them. And I think we'll then take this time to actually break for tea. How many minutes could it?
15.
15, isn't it? Then when you guys are back, we'll just pick a few people randomly, and then we proceed from there. How does that sound?
Fine.
All right, thanks, Patinella. So I'm just going to let's get back in this session at 10:40, and then we pick it up from there. But in the meantime, please go through these questions, then we can proceed from there. Yeah. All right. So see you at 10:40.
Hi, Sarazai. We are just taking a break. We're going to come back at 10:40, and then we resume our session. So you can go have tea, just relax a bit, walk around, and we'll start at 10:40.
Right, guys, just as you name, can you just give us the feedback to the questions that we discussed about? Whilst Azine is getting ready, do we have anyone who would like to say something? Answer the questions. Remember, it has to be interactive, and it's actually a really good opportunity for you to actually get feedback on what you're doing right and so on. You don't have to show us your pages, but you simply need to just give us feedback. Yeah. Here's the questions again. All right, let me share the questions again. Those are the questions, guys. Do not be afraid. So, questions once more. Where are we now? Where are you as an organization? How do you rate your organization's use of social media? Yes, Saruzai, please go ahead.
Thanks so much. Organizations, it's becoming very difficult for them to have a lot of their work being put on social media. The reason behind that, it has become very for them to engage, even to make brochures through social media. It has been expensive, and most of us not access if you need to through social media, especially if you're going to do it through video or pictures, or you ask your customers to open up the brochure. Most of the time it is an ignored advert. And that's where we are, because it's very expensive. Social media has become expensive. Yes, you can hear me.
Yeah, but you were breaking.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, I said it has become very accessibility to social media. It becomes expensive. Even because I try to if I can get through social media, my organization try to push through social media. It has become very expensive for the people that I'm trying to reach out to, unless you have to do an international advert, but in local advert, it becomes very expensive. So it is very difficult, because networking has become difficult, and less people are now using social media. I don't know if I was clear.
I think part of I could hear you partly. Just want to confirm. Are you saying that it's become difficult for people in your organization or your audience?
The audience. Even if my organization can manage, but the audience I'm trying to reach out to might not be able to afford access to social media.
Okay. Yeah, Saru, I hear what you're saying, but I'll take you back again to what we discussed earlier on in the statistics. You would find that which areas do you usually operate in?
Your question again, I think it's you're making.
I was asking which areas do you operate in? Yeah. The reason, yeah.
That's the largely used and at the moment more accessible than any other as well.
Yeah, you see, with I think my issue with a lot of not-for-profit organizations is not necessarily that people cannot have access, but I think it's simply a matter of choosing the right platform where they can actually reach their audience. Then, secondly, as well, just having the content that makes people really excited about what you're sharing and stuff like that. I think, but I hear what you're saying. I think we'll come back to those issues, and also I think also as we progress with the workshop, some of your concerns will also be we'll elaborate on them, and we'll also give solutions as to how you can overcome those that. Yeah, but largely from what you're saying, I could tell that you're not really utilizing social media because of the perceived cost issues and stuff like that. So exactly like you indicate there, this is the reason why we're having it. This is the reason why we're having this workshop, so that I can teach you how to improve on those issues. But thank you very much for your contribution. Yeah. Then we have, is it GAPWZ? Gapuz? Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Our organization is not very active on social media. The reason being that social media is very expensive. The data is very expensive, and most of our members cannot afford even to buy the gadgets that connect to internet. Therefore, we can see that we are not very active on social media because of that, because it's very expensive.
All right, I'm speaking to you.
It's Maria from Gapuz.
So Maria, here's the thing. I think when,
Yes.
when you look at your social media and so on, you don't just want to look at one constituent, because I want to believe that you have multiple stakeholders, isn't it? And
yes,
yes, and I want to believe that if you do your social media properly, as I will show you, you can actually reach multiple, those multiple stakeholders with a multi-pronged, approach, where you're now saying, look, for these stakeholders, I think maybe this platform will work best for them. For these, maybe we'll complain about data, maybe we need to reach them through WhatsApp and all of those things. So again, it comes back to the issue of having that digital strategy that I was talking about. Do you guys have a digital marketing strategy document that you have in place?
Okay, we not yet.
Exactly. So you being in this workshop is actually very good, because these are things that you're going to learn. We cannot say, social media does not work when we have not tried, especially tried using it the right way. Again, this is why I shared those statistics. Already you have 5 million people. You have 5 million people who are actually using, social media, as I indicated. So definitely, from the 5 million people, you should actually be able to receive, should actually be able to communicate to part of your stakeholders there. Is that right? Sometimes because we're not really equipped to deal with these things, we feel that look, maybe it's because our audience is not on social media, whereas we just need to approach it differently. So, but thank you very much for those sort of things. Yeah.
Maria.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's Abigail from GMC.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I've just come in, and you were the first person I had an opportunity to listen to. I want to buttress on what Tinashe was saying. Kutisaka inimi is Gapuz. How have you been communicating any information to your beneficiaries, your good members, how have you guys been known that you are there? What other communication tools have you been using so that people know that there is Kapuz and you offer these services?
Okay, I was yet to present all of my questions. As Kapuz, we mostly use WhatsApp, through WhatsApp groups to gather and disseminate information. So we are very active on WhatsApp, but as I was highlighting that we are not very active on WhatsApp, I meant that on other platforms of social media like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, we are not so active, but on WhatsApp, we are very active. We create groups to disseminate information and to gather information that helps our organization.
Ah, okay.
So I think, maybe we need to really elaborate on what social media is. A lot of people think social media is Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and all of those platforms. But social media is none of that. Social media is simply a conversation that you're having with people online. And again, like you indicated, you are talking to people via WhatsApp. So already you're actually using social media. So for you, maybe the question is, how do we make the most, of using, WhatsApp so that we actually reach more and more people? And also the other platforms that you guys are not using, how do you ensure as well that you also have more engagement on those platforms and so on? Again, it comes down to who's your target audience? Who are your stakeholders? So when we really define those things, then we can actually proceed, isn't it? So, but yes, the contribution is very, very important. So I think I'm actually going to skip a few slides and then come back to those later, because I think what we actually need to do now is, how do we ensure that we know who our target audience is and what how we can reach them, eh? So we're just going to do a short exercise where we want to, I'm just going to skip a lot of these things, eh? And just come to this slide where we look at what we call persona identification. So when we talk about persona identification, we are trying to really drill down and say, so who really is our target audience? Yeah? Who are we speaking to? Which stakeholders do we have?
And why are we talking to them?
And why are we talking to them, eh? So let's do this together, eh? I'm just gonna go and let's do this together. Can we have someone who can volunteer their organization and we can actually use those guys? Anyone?
Yes, Kapuz.
Kapuz, okay, fantastic. Again, remember it has to be interactive, like I said. So thank you very much for that. Let me just go to, let me just go and select a sticky note. All right. I'm just gonna share. Right, so Gapus.
Yes.
Is this? Oh, it's not typing. All right, so let me know if this is the right spelling there. Right?
Yes, it is the right spelling.
Right, fantastic. So when you're doing your persona identification, you want to look at who you want to look at generally you want to have maybe you want to look at 3 different types of people, isn't it? So you can have person 1, person A, then you can have person 2, person B, then person C, isn't it? So what does your ideal, let's say the person, talk about the people that you talk about, that usually communicate with. Usually, is it a male or female that usually target?
Both.
Okay. So you have a male, then you have a female. Male usually, what age are they?
Both young and
Yeah, but who's
old people.
your ideal client? Sorry, what person audience? Like the majority of people that you have or that you communicate with.
25 to 35 years, maybe.
All right, so let's just put maybe a 30-year-old, eh? Where do they stay?
In the farms, the farming community.
All right, just give me an example.
Which farm? Selby Farm.
Where is Selby?
Mazoe Road.
All right, Selby Farm. Mazoe Road. So we have a 30-year-old male who lives at Selby Farm, Mazoe. Then female, majority.
40 years.
That's the majority. And which areas?
Concession.
Concession. All right. Then we look at person B. So you said you also have a 25-year-old. This can be female or male. Confirm?
Yes. Are we still talking about?
Male. It's 25 is male, eh?
Yes.
All right. Where do they live again?
Pardon?
Where do they live?
Let's say Mutare.
Mutare. Is it rural or urban?
Rural.
Right. Any females around that area?
Any what?
Females around that age group?
Yes.
Usually, how old?
55.
55. Okay. So I think more or less we have an idea of the kind of person that we're talking to, isn't it? So you would say that when you look at maybe the females here, maybe you want to utilize more WhatsApp. Why? Because maybe they're not on Facebook. But when you look at these males, maybe I'm sure most of them are on Facebook. 30-year-old is not, yeah. Then you also look at the person 25. This person can be on Facebook, even Twitter as well, eh? Yeah. So already from this exercise, you can actually begin to see which platforms you actually need to be on, eh? So this is what we call a persona identification. We do this because we want to see where we can best utilize our energies and effort and time. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So now the next thing would be to then say, now that we are on Facebook, how do we ensure that people respond to our to our posts? people comment, we are reaching a lot more people on Facebook. Are we together there?
Yes.
Right, so that becomes the next thing that we need to talk about. So having said that, the next thing that we need to look at is, do we, all of us, know how to use maybe perhaps say Facebook? Do we know the intricacies of using Facebook and what sort of content, how do we create our content? And is our content attractive enough? And is it communicating what we wanted to communicate? Eh? Right. So I just want to find out from you, when we talk about content, what sort of content do you share? Is it text? Is it pictures? Are they pictures? Are they graphics? What sort of, how do you usually do it?
Mostly for our target group, it's text and pictures.
Right. So you find that with Facebook, if you actually use text more, very few people will actually respond. Facebook will not push it. Remember what I was talking about in terms of the algorithm, eh? So what you want to do is you want to have maybe your graphics and stuff like that. Now, just talking to everyone within the workshop, how many people use a graphic designer that they use within? Or do their own graphics?
Us, we do.
Huh? Yes, Patsime?
Also have our internal graphics, right?
Yes, your internal. But I want to say maybe not everyone is fortunate enough to an internal graphic designer, isn't it? So I'm going to show you how else you can actually create your own graphics, eh? Right? I hope you guys are following. So
yes,
we're just going to go to we're just going to go online. I want to assume that everyone is right, there you go. So you simply go to maybe Google like that. When you get to Google, this is the magic word there. There's a tool called Canva. So it's C-A-V-N-A. Yeah, like that. How many of you have ever heard of this tool? By show of hands. Right. So you have people from Patsime and Patinella. Patinella, are you using Canva?
Yeah, I do use it for my posters.
Right, fantastic. So for the rest of the guys, you simply come here, you click where it says Canva. Yeah. And when you get here, you can actually then say you want to create maybe a Facebook poster like that, eh? Or Facebook post. You type it there. It will give you a list of templates, eh? As you can see. Like that. So let's say, for instance, if you pick this one. Yeah. Constance, I hope you're following. Are you following? If anyone, if I lose you somewhere, just let me know. Right? So as you can see, it's a template. So if I click inside there, I can actually delete. Do you see that?
Yes.
So you can write whatever you want, isn't it? So let's say, for instance, we want to write something like, let's look for rural African women, like that. Yeah. Right. So let's say, for instance, we should take this woman here. So we're gonna save this picture. And we come here. So within Canva, you can actually upload pictures into it that you want to use. So I'm gonna pick this. So just look at my left side. You see that? It says been uploaded. Did you see that? So once I do that, I can just grab it, bring it inside, isn't it? Like there. Then I can actually position it properly like that. There. You see that?
Yes.
Right. Then I can say, do you have any programs that you're running? Eh? Maria?
Pardon?
Yes.
What are you running? What, any programs?
What sort of programs?
Like events or that sort of thing?
Yes, sometimes Women's Day, Workers' Day, and different campaigns.
So let's type in Women's Day.
Yeah.
There, as you can see. Then say celebrations. Celebrations like that. You can actually position it properly. Is it making sense?
Yes.
Then Women's Day is usually which day?
International Women's Day.
It's in June, eh?
No, February.
What's February?
March, sorry.
March, what's the date?
Usually 8 March.
Right. You can see that, eh?
Yes.
Right. So already actually looks quite nice, eh?
Very nice.
Then I just want us to go back here and I want to look for your logo. Do you have a logo somewhere?
Yes, we have a logo.
Office there online somewhere there. Is this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to do that. Right, so I'm gonna take this one. and save it. Yeah, you there?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to upload the media here again. Where was this thing? So I'm just gonna. Right, so I will come here. Then I upload it again. There you go. Then I put it somewhere. Okay. Reduce it. Maybe put it at the top there. I don't know. Reduce it. Then maybe put it there. Is it how it looks?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So look at that. We have our graphic there. Doesn't it look nice?
Yeah, it does.
So you see, now instead of sending text, you can post something like this. So this is what we call content creation.
Mm-hmm.
We actually use graphics, but unfortunately at the organization, we don't have anyone who focus on that. We actually hire some other companies to make some graphics like posters, flyers for us.
Yeah, you can continue doing that, but for your social media, because these are things you do on a daily basis, isn't it?
Yes.
You can actually use a free tool like this one.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So,
you know, this is exactly what we're talking. So when you're posting things like that, like this, I can tell you this didn't even take us a lot of time to do, but it's actually looking quite nice. So whenever you want to do something big, or even just for your social media account, this is something that you want to be able to. So, guys, is everyone, you know, maybe apart from the guys from Gapuz, are you guys following? Do you have any questions and so on?
Hi, Tinashe.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, fine. We are using it's called Canva, right?
Yeah, we're using Canva right now.
Okay, so am I supposed to download it or I use it online? I missed that one.
All right, so thank you very much for that question. So what then happens is that after you've finished like this, like that, you go in, you know, with the 3 little dots there. Then you say download. Yeah. Sorry, my computer is just acting up. There you go. There, so you then say download. Then you select. You choose download. As you can see, it's downloading. Right, so I'm just gonna share with you how it looks. So there it is, downloaded, eh? No Google? You there?
Yes, I'm still there.
Yeah, so you see it's quite easy, eh? And it looks quite nice. I'm sure it's a design that when you give to someone, you know, you can actually pay, eh? But you're doing it yourself. So after you've done this, the next level is to now post it in Facebook, eh? So I'm just gonna share again. I'll look for something there. Then let's go to Facebook. Let's look for something to. So let's say, for instance, we have like something like this. This is just something that I set up. So this is Facebook. You simply go inside Facebook like there. Then you go where it says create posts. Then you select all right, so it's still loading, just give it a bit of time. There's a question from Saru. Saru is asking whether one can use Canva to create a logo. So I'm just gonna go there. So Saru, yes, you can create a logo. You simply go in and say logo. Okay. You following? Then you select something that you want. So Saru, maybe perhaps you can elaborate further. What sort of logo would you want to create? But just to show you, I mean, it's the same scenario. Yeah. So yeah, for an organization, let's say, isn't it? So let's say we want to create a logo for Burberry, isn't it? So we had selected that. This is the template that we've selected. So you can go inside there and we type in whatever that we want. Burberry like that. So it's either we reduce the size there. Like that. Then we make sure that it's properly centered within the circle. Then here we write in creative. Then at the bottom there we write agents. Okay. So as you can see, it's not a logo. So Kudawashe Munemu is asking if there are any financial costs associated with using a platform like Canva. So yes and no. Yes, in that there are certain elements within Canva that you may actually want to pay for. No, in that primarily you don't actually need you know, money or any financial stuff. So if you want maybe the other extra features, you can actually then you know, migrate to the premium one. But even just using the one with the generic one, which is not the premium one, you can actually utilize Canva very much. Yeah. And someone is asking, I think is asking again, if this platform is can be downloaded and used offline. Unfortunately, it's something that you have to use online. I don't think they have an offline version, but it's something that you can use online. So, but as long as you have internet, you can actually access this. Eh? Are we together there? Yeah. I hope this is.
Your volume is a bit low.
What about now?
Very low. I don't know others, but this side is very low.
Right. I don't know for others.
We can hear clearly.
Oh, you can hear me clearly. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay. For fantastic. I think maybe perhaps you just need to switch on your volume just to increase it a bit. So having said that, so these applications, you actually need maybe to be online to use them, but they don't use a lot of data. And again, as compared to actually hiring someone to do it, you'll find that using an application like this will actually save you a ton of money and also make your work presentable and more engaging. Eh? Yeah. All right. Awesome. So now that we have an idea of how to create the content we want, the next thing is, what sort of content are we creating? Yeah. So when we look at content that we are creating, content should do three things. Number one, your content should be engaging. Is your content engaging? So there are 3 E's when it comes to creating content. Number one, engaging. Number two, your content needs to be entertaining. Okay? Then number 3, or it can be educative in nature. Now, you see, with most not-for-profit organizations, the problem that they have with their social media is that when they post, it's like they are posting so that their donors can see what they are posting. I don't know, does this sound familiar? But your target audience doesn't necessarily have to be your donor all the time, eh? Because you want to engage with your audience, isn't it? So if you're going to be engaging with that 25-year-old in Mutari, or that 30-year-old at Selby Farm, how are you going to create content that excites them, that engages them, that educates them? Do you get what I mean? This is where we miss it. When we talk of social media, we are not saying, please be on social media. So just go there so that you're just there. You need to figure out and know who your target audience is, like what we did for Gapus. After we have done that, it's now a matter of then saying, how do we create content that fits these guys? So my next question to you guys is, do you guys have content plans? Do you create content plans? Guys from Patsime, sorry. Do you have a content plan?
Hello. Yeah, we do have content plan that we are currently working with for the moment.
Right. So the thing is with most organizations is that they'll just post, you know, Chamuga, we go with that, isn't it? But your content needs to be really structured. Do you know what I mean? Say, okay, so on Monday, so this week, what are we aiming to post? What sort of content do we want to, you know, to post? What, well, you know, what's the reasoning behind? What is the motivation behind that? What do we want people to think? What do we want people to feel? Do you get what I mean? So if there is Women's Month, like right now, Women's Day in March, have you already started preparing towards that? What sort of ideas do you have? Are you going to sit down as a team, you know, so that we come up with like ideas and stuff like that? Yeah. You know, so those are things that you want to look at. Hey? So this is what we want to do now. We're just going to create a 1 week. We're just going to create a 1 week content plan for each and every one. And then you guys will need to submit it to me so that I can just have a look at it. Okay? But so that it works, I'm going to just maybe work with maybe Gapuz or any other organization right now so that you guys can actually see how it's done.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Remember, it has to be practical. At the end of the session, we have to say, you know what, we did that workshop, and this is what we can now do, and so on. So, Gabuz, you have to bear with me, but we have to be.
Yes.
Please kindly share with me some of the activities that you usually do.
Are we focusing on the Women's Day or any other?
Any other?
We usually do GBV awareness campaigns.
Right. So,
and maybe the May Day, Workers' Day.
All right, so just give me a moment, Dave. So the whole idea, Gapuz, is I know it's easy for a lot of organizations to just focus on particular days, isn't it? But that's also where the problem is as well that we face. When we just focus on particular days, it means, you know, we will be quiet or we won't be engaged.
Okay.
In interaction.
No, we hear you.
Yeah. So we need to then say, we look at issues that you deal with. You say, you look at gender-based violence. What else?
We do workers' rights trainings.
Workers' rights trainings.
Different types of trainings like paralegal.
Paralegal.
Labor law interpretation.
Labor law interpretation.
Collective bargaining training.
Collective bargaining training.
Occupational safety and health training. OSHA in short. OSHA training.
OSHA training. All right. So I think with the ones that you have just given me, you know, I'm actually thinking and seeing that there's a lot that we can actually get to do here. Is that right?
Yes.
And also, again, just looking at that, you can actually begin to say that, you know, your audience actually extends far and beyond like what we had listed there, isn't it? Because you look at GBV, this is an issue that affects almost everyone, you know,
Mhm.
in the country, isn't it? You look at workers,
Yes.
you know, you're looking at the whole population.
Mhm.
You know, so these are issues that we, you know, so you find that from actually, you know, from where we are now, we can actually develop this into something, you know, that can actually edify your social media and make you reach more people, isn't it? So there's no reason why you should be saying, no, you know what, because our audience is not there. I think your audience is there. But I just think it's these little things that you're actually talking about that can actually make the difference and so on. Right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm just going to share my screen once again. Right, as you can see there, so we have GBV. So under GBV, remember the campaign that I shared with you earlier on, isn't it? So you want to think. So you want to say what sort of ideas can we have around GBV? And when you're coming up with ideas, it's not necessarily that you have to depend on yourself. You can actually say, go and say GBV campaigns, you're online like that. There is, you know, these guys are saying about the 16 days campaign support domestic workers. You know, so usually what I do, I usually go to the images there, isn't it? Then you look at ideas. So already, since there is the COVID, lockdown and stuff like that, you know, these are other issues that you can actually see. What can we do? Do you see that graphic there? Where you're saying the bravest thing you can ever do is to ask for help, isn't it? So already, I'm already thinking and say, for the GBV, I can say, do not suffer in silence. Ask for help. Like that. Then I can then say at Kapus, we provide counseling and what? Services, etc. So this is what we call copy or text, isn't it? So you take this, you go online, you look for an image that best resembles this, isn't it? So in fact, let's just not talk, let's actually do it. And say GBV victims, or we can say, you don't necessarily need to say GBV victims, you can say woman, African woman crying like that. You see a lot of images there. Then you want to pick maybe something that best resembles that,
Yes.
So again, at this point, you don't want to use other people's pictures without their consent, Is that right? So there are sites such as these ones with watermarks and stuff like that. these sites will allow you to buy these things, the images. So depending on at what level you want to do your social media, you can always ask for maybe a budget for these things. Alternatively, you can always invest in your own footage as well, so that you're also taking pictures. It's, you know, getting people to use, you know, just coming up with your own images and stuff like that. So this is the one I'm taking, because as you can see, it's not watermarked or anything like that. Then I come back to here to Canva, and I say Facebook post again. Then I look for something that can work for me. All right, so I can select something like this. So someone was asking whether this is free or not. So with this picture, as you can see, it's watermarked. It has those crossing, and it is a watermark for Canva. So it means if you're going to use this, let's say, for instance, if I try to download this, it will say download with Pro. So you won't be able to do it unless you pay and that sort of thing, isn't it? It's only for $1. So what you then do is to delete this image and upload your own image. So we upload that. Then it's uploading on the left there. It is uploaded. We take it, we drop it in there. Like that. Then this we can just move it here. That side. Then our text there. There. So we can have it like that. Then we type in our copy to not suffer in silence, like that. Then we want to put this in there, ask for help. Like that. Then we come here, we pick the logo here. We put the logo there, right at the top. No. We'll put it there. Just putting the logo right at the top there. Like that. There you go. So this is now we can actually then download this. And I can just share the downloads. Right, I'm just sharing that you can see what we have done. You see that? Are we together there? The question.
Yes.
Yeah. Saruzai, thank you very much for the comment. Saruzai saying this is interesting. It's always interesting when you do something practical and something that actually helps is, you know, to actually take your things forward. So guys, so this is an example of how you come up with copy and you turn it into actual graphics, isn't it? Let's look at the other example as well. You know, so even your workers' rights. So you can then say something like, just give me a moment. So you come back, you can go to Google and say workers' rights. So let's say poster, for instance. So already from here, you can actually see some of the ideas and so on, isn't it? For instance, look at this one: ensure health, security, and safety of all workers, isn't it? This would actually touch in, you know, in terms of, you know, the workers' rights and then the safety, health, and safety, isn't it? So these are just ideas that you are, you know, like know your rights, you know, that sort of thing, isn't it? So you could be thinking something like, for instance, workers' rights. Now people are, the lockdown was eased, so it means that people are now going back to work, isn't it? So it could be as COVID, a lockdown, as people, as workers. I'm just trying to make sure the English is there, is correct. And also, when you come up with copy, it needs to be like a verb, like a doing word, rather than, you know, like is. Know your rights. Know your rights. Lockdown or no lockdown. Workers should not be suppressed. Workers' rights. Right, so this becomes our copy there. Know your rights, lockdown or no lockdown. Workers' rights should not be suppressed, isn't it? So you take this copy again,
Yes.
You go to Canva, you look for a picture of workers. If you have your own, you put that into Canva, and then you produce your graphic. Sounds good?
Very good.
Fantastic. So I'm gonna ask everyone, you know, we're just gonna take 5 minutes where you guys are actually going to go on Canva. You're actually gonna come up with about 2 graphics, isn't it? The same way I did it. You go on Canva and you create your graphic, isn't it? After you have done that, everyone please send through that in the chat. Sounds good? Huh?
Yes.
Yes, sounds good.
Yes, Sharon's Goge says fantastic. So this is great. So at what the time now? It's quarter to now. So at 11:52, everyone, I'm going to ask. Now, I don't know if Abi had mentioned, but there are prizes for people who participate a lot. So you might be lucky, eh? All right, so let's get down to business, eh? All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to,
Hello.
Hello, did someone want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, are we allowed to use just any picture, or maybe there are some pictures that are allowed for us to use?
So
that's my concern.
So I ideally, remember, there are pictures, there are issues to do with copyright. You don't want to just steal someone's picture. So if, let's say, for instance, you didn't buy the picture or it's not being provided for free, there are platforms, websites where you can actually go and get pictures for free, as I will share with you. But also, again, you always want to ensure that you always ask for permission before using someone else's picture, if you don't have the permission or if it's not a free picture. Yeah.
Answered, thank you.
Yeah, Portia, and also one thing about what Tinashe is talking about using someone else's picture or someone else's content. Where the world is going right now is you have to accredit and put a picture and or something. If you don't, it's also we've been told by some donors, putting even Shansa picture yangu imini without you without me giving you permission, and I can sue Hivos and Rubona.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we give credit on that poster, or
Yeah, and even mukatora picture yangu inini Abigail, moisa pa maybe invitation ye training and it. But mota we always put that thing and it is supported by egos or whichever donor we are getting the money from. If someone just decides they can pay you to the cleaners, kuti photo yangu makaipiwa nani, I never authorized. So it also says GMC, when we use people's photos, usually we get them to authorize the usage of their photos.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Yeah, so because there have been a few cases, not necessarily with GMC, where in the USA is supporting this. I'll sue them. But the publication changes are developed when they partner makatora content edu, makatora ma visuals edu without acknowledging. So it then becomes a whole big thing. And can you imagine next time would that donor want to deal with you when you've taken them through the mat like that? Okay, so that's my my contribution. I'll pass.
All right, guys. If anyone else has another question, just let me know. Right, so I'm just going to give you 2 extra minutes to just finish up.
Hi, can we have the link to submit the canvas?
Hello, guys. Are you able to share in the chat?
For me, no, but I don't know if we can share a screenshot or what.
Okay. Kudzi, is there a WhatsApp group with these people, with the participants? Okay, so let's do it this way. Let me give you an email address. You guys can, so that you can send to.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put it in the. All right, so I'm sending you. This is just gonna give us his email address. right? Please send to that email there for Kudzai. Yeah. Right. So once you're sent, I think we can now proceed. So already from what we have seen that for you to have maximum impact, number one, what you want to do is that you want to be able to really identify who your target audience is, isn't it? Then after you've identified who your target audience is, the next step is you want to come up with engaging, exciting, and educative content. So when we talk about engaging content, what exactly do we mean? We mean content that someone can actually say yes or no to, or they give their opinion or they give their comment. For instance, we could give a post such as, maybe on GBV, and it could be something like, do you think the law that is there is doing enough to prevent GBV? And what do you think can be done? Are we together there? Or it could be something like, women who get raped. Is it their fault, or it's because of perverts or something like that? So when you have a question like that, I can guarantee you that you are going to have a lot of people who are going to comment. Is that right? Is it the fault of women who wear miniskirts, that they get raped? Already, your line of questioning again is a little bit controversial in a way, isn't it? Or what do you think of people who say, it's women's fault to get abused or that sort of thing, isn't it? So already, because people are very opinionated, people actually start to respond and talk about these issues, isn't it? So when you look at these things, you are actually saying, how can I actually make it more entertaining, more educative, or more engaging, so that people can actually begin to talk? So the thing that actually makes it difficult, that actually results in your content being shared, commented on, and so on. It's not just going on Facebook, but it's the content that you share. There is so we have received something from Portia there. Well, Portia, this is nice, eh? I think. Can you open,
Thank you.
Just hold on, guys. So this is Portia's work. As you can see, it's actually quite nice, eh? Yeah. Right. So yes, fantastic. So these are the issues that you're looking at, so your content, I was about to say that content, when it comes to social media, there's a saying which actually says content is king. How many of you have ever heard of that? Content is king. Engagement is queen. Yeah? Yes, Sandra, You've heard about it, yeah? So
Yes, I've heard about it.
yeah, so that's the thing, you know, you want to get people to, you know, content is very, very important. Without content, then you are really not doing anything, isn't it? Yeah, that's exciting. Now, let's proceed going forward. So the next thing that I want us to talk about, I think just we're gonna go back again. Right, so as we develop our social media strategy now, like I indicated, we want to set goals. Already we have seen how to create content and that sort of thing. But also, again, it's not just about, you know, just going on Facebook to post. We need to have direction. We need to know exactly what we want to do and where we want to go, isn't it? So we want to look at things like, where do we want to go? So usually when I train, I usually talk about the story of Alice in Wonderland. Do you guys remember the story of Alice in Wonderland? I think most of you, you went to preschool, and you know these were some of the issues that we discussed in preschool, isn't it? So some of the stuff that we discussed, the sort of Alice in Wonderland goes like this. So Alice was walking in Wonderland, and she came to an intersection. When she came to the intersection, she saw a cat. She asked the cat, where should I go? Because she was at the intersection. Should I go left or should I go right? Then the cat replied, Alice, it depends where you want to go. Alice then responded, I don't really know where I want to go. Then the cat said, then it doesn't matter which way you go. So the moral of the story there is that if you do not know where you're going, then it doesn't matter which way you go. Are you together there? So as an organization, you have to figure out where is it that you want to go. What are your goals like? You know, goals, there's a very smart acronym for that's used when you're coming up with goals. In fact, it's actually called SMART. Goals have to be smart. They have to be specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, and time-bound, isn't it? So you need to have specific goals. So for your organization, right now, you want to look at where you are. How many followers you have on Facebook? How many followers on Twitter if you're on Twitter? Which platforms are you on? Which platforms do you need to be on? The followers. What is your reach like at the moment? How many people are you reaching at the moment? You know, all of those things. So maybe perhaps before we go there, I want to find out how many of you are actually measuring where how much people, sorry, how many people you are reaching? Just by show of hands. How many of you actually do maybe a weekly report? Or even if you don't do a report, do you know how many people on average are reaching? Anyone? Just show by raising your hands. Yeah? So, yes, Gapus. So you want to see, so I'm going to show you how to reach, how to actually take and measure, you know, these things. So Nobukle is telling us that she uses Facebook Insights, which is great, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. You have to know the people that you're reaching, the comments, the engagement, all of those things, isn't it? So I don't know if I end up going a bit more technical here, but just let me know. I just want to show you certain things like how you can actually calculate your reach, then also calculate your engagements, how many people are actually engaging with your content, isn't it? So I'm just going to show you on Facebook. All right, so we go to Facebook. We discuss this. Again, remember, some of you wanted to also know how to do adverts from Facebook, Messenger, and all of that. So I'm going to show you. So let me look for the page here, which is not very. All right, let me take social media. So this page, to be honest, again, you're not very active here, but for the purposes of what you want to do, I think it works. So you have these insights, you have a snapshot of these insights, as you can see. Because we are not really posting, of course, the number of people and so on, this is very low. But I'm just showing you so that you have an appreciation of what I'm talking about and that sort of thing. You also have post engagements there, which are talking about how many people are actually engaging with your posts, then page likes, and all of those things. Maybe this might not have been the best page. Let me see which other one. I suppose that's the one. So this is where you get your insights. However, you can also come to your left here and you go where it says insights to actually go deep down. Yeah. So here it will actually tell you the page views, page likes, your stories, post reach, all of that. Again, you can actually come here where it says export data. Then you can actually pick, the periods. So let's say, for instance, I want to pick in 2021. Then I want to pick, let's say, from November. So I can say November. Then I can say maybe to 2021 again. But I want to do maybe December. So I can actually, what it means is that, what it actually means is that I can actually just pick some time. I can actually go back and pick a time that I think something like that. And I say, okay. Then I can export the data here. So it's now exporting. Then Here are the insights there. So they are in. So it'll actually tell me, so this is in Excel, it'll actually tell me the number of likes, the number of engaged users, the weekly total, and all of that. So I won't really get into much in depth with this, but I think, you know, here you can actually see, you know, all the information that you want, maybe, yeah. So this is what you do with Facebook Insights. Then for Twitter, those who use Twitter, what you simply do is you simply go and say analytics. Then you type in, sorry, analytics like that. So this applies to Twitter like that. Then you select this one, the one at the top there. And it will actually begin to show you how many tweets you sent, your impressions. Impressions are the number of people who saw your tweets, your profile visits, mentions, followers, etc. Yeah. So why is this important? I'm just showing you so that as we talk about certain things, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Now, as I indicated, I am also going to show you how you can boost certain posts, isn't it? Right, so I'm just gonna look for go to a page. All right, yeah. So from here, this is what I want to do. I want to create an ad or boost an ad, isn't it? So I am just going to right. So what you can actually get to do when you're boosting something is you simply go on your page and you say boost is pretty much straightforward. Then from there, you know, you go. This is how it looks like. Your advert. Then here you are selecting your audience. So when we say selecting your audience, we're saying you're selecting people who you want to see your advert, isn't it? So this is saying Zimbabwe, but here it's actually saying, you know, you can actually go and say, you know what, I want people who are interested in these things, like in Joburg, who stay in Joburg, or interested to do things to do in South Africa. As you can see there, there is actually suggestions here. Then you'd say Zimbabwe, and I think the targeting there roughly will reach about 30 million or so. Then you say save, isn't it? Then here duration, how long do you want the ad to run? So you want the ads to run for so you can have the ad run for about maybe at a minimum about maybe 5 days, like there. Then your budget would also be determined by the amount of days that you want to advert for that. So if it's 5, so you can add. So if I say something like this, it will say error because I would have gone below the number of days that the ad is running. The minimum budget for Facebook is $1 per day. So the advert will not work. So I can then say 5 because I'm running it for 5. Like that. Then once I'm happy with that, the next thing that I need to do is I need to put my card details there. So I can then change my card details there. Am I using, so yeah, you can then say, I want to select another payment. So I can say add debit card there. Then it will take me here. Then I'll need to put the name of the card. So it's something like this. And etc. I no longer know the, yeah. So once you've done that, you can actually boost that post. So this is how you do Facebook adverts in Facebook. But someone was asking how to do maybe Messenger and all of that. You can do that, but it's a little bit more complicated in that you now need to do it from the ad manager now. From the now ad manager account. For instance, I can say both ad. All right, guys, just give me a moment. All right, I'm trying to look for the ad manager. All right, so you can come here and you say ads. Right, so did you see what I did? I came on the, this button, this menu, and went to add. Then, what it does, in the bottom left corner, it will say, if you want to go for advanced tools, you go to Ads Manager, yeah? Then from here, from this screen, I'm not sure if a lot of you guys have been here. So I'm not really, like dwell on this, but rather than say, go to create. So depending on your campaign objectives, what you want to do. I hope I'm not losing you guys, but I'm just showing you so that you are aware of what I'm trying to do, and so that you also know what happens with this. Right, so I can say maybe I want to do it so there are additional people. So that's my objective. Then I can name this, okay, just give me a moment. So how can we name it? We can say GMC training. Choose the training, then we say next. Then we choose the page that we want. Let's choose February. Then we say something like next. Then here we can now select, for instance, what we want to put here. So we say add media. So we want to upload. So let's say, for instance, we upload this one. Then we say next. So already you can see how it will look like. Right. So here, this is where it will show. It will show within the feed, isn't it? So you can actually specify and say, add it to be your news feed. So it'll appear in stories, reels, all of that. And this is how it will appear like. So here, right, looking okay. So it's, let's see a preview there. So this is how it will appear. Right, so this is how you can do it. Then if you're happy, you publish. Are we together? Okay, fine, great. Once we so that's how you do your Facebook ad. So I've just shown you the easier way and the slightly more complicated way. So that's to do with Facebook advertising. I think because of the interest of time, let me quickly do jump into Twitter so that we can do spaces. Eh? Right. Let's look at Twitter now. Right. So with spaces, I think I might have to do it from my spaces, you can only do the spaces from your mobile phone. But before we jump into spaces, I just want to quickly talk about the functions, how Twitter works, and the functions and stuff like that, isn't it? Yeah. So you have, this is your home. So home, this is where, for the people that you follow and all of those things, isn't it? This is where their posts will come. So it's just like Facebook, the people you follow, when you go to the timeline, this is where they will be, isn't it? Then you have what people are saying to you. Let's say you post something, it will come here and notifications. Then here you have your direct messages. Then here, this is where you wherever you post and so on, this is where it comes from, isn't it? It comes to. Now, I'm just gonna slightly I'm just gonna change devices. And go to my mobile. All right. Give me a moment. So that we can see how best to do this Twitter Spaces and so on. But once we're here as well, so there's a lot of exciting options and stuff like that. For instance, you can actually pull what we call polls. So a poll is when you ask a question about if you will get to vote online, isn't it? So we can say something like, so you can say quick question. Doing a short survey. I don't know. Doing a short survey. Do you think digital marketing impacts an organization? The ability. Do you think, okay, maybe let's say, do you think Zimbabwe organizations are utilizing digital social media like that? Then say yes. Most are no. Then you can also add another answer as well. It's half. Then we say, then you treat it like that. So when you refresh here, there it is. So again, so when someone goes over to your page and they can actually see that tweet in the reports, isn't it? Let me actually do that. Right. I'm just gonna refresh this. All right, so when you look for me there, if you're on Twitter, you can actually see this. Right. Right, so already there are 4 votes. Other people are saying no, others saying half. So this is a nice, cool way to engage your audience and so on. But yeah, these are some of the issues that you can actually look at and then and that sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah. I'm just going to now start, just show how to do your how to do those Twitter spaces. Okay? Right, so let me just look for Kudzi here. Hi, Kudzi. Kudzi. Right. Let's give me a moment. I just want to enable screen sharing here. All right, so guys, I'm just trying to. Okay, just allow me to. Yeah, so yeah, the percentages are are actually responses. Well, they are not really responses. They are actually to say, you know, of the 14 people who have voted so far, 35% feel this way. Those think it's no, 50% of the 16 voted. So you'd find that, you know, I mean, we posted it just a few minutes ago, but you know, people are actually beginning to respond and stuff, which is, you know, this is some of the things that your content needs to change and to be different, you know, allowing you know, you to do things nicely and that sort of thing. So yeah, just give me a moment. I think we're winning here. Right, Twitter. All right, so this is my mobile phone. So for you to do a Twitter space, you go to the blue button at the bottom there, and then you choose spaces. So it's quite simple, eh? So as you can see from there, it's saying that you can add up to 10 speakers, where you invite anyone on Twitter to speak. Then anyone can actually listen except those people that you've blocked. And as the host, you can actually allow people to speak, decide who is going to speak, who, you know, all of those things. So we can say get started here. And we say start your space. Right. So I think I need to change here. Spaces. For some reason, it doesn't. Yeah, name your space. We can call it digital marketing in Zimbabwe. Then we say, so you can start it now, or you can schedule it later, isn't it? So you can say, no, I want this, you know, to be at, say, today. Then you choose the time, maybe at 2 p.m. Then you say, okay. Then, yeah. So that's a math there. Then from here, so you want to publicize this now, you can say share. So you can share via tweets like that. Then you can say digital marketing in Zimbabwe. Let's go, something like that. Then, so from there, it's actually set. So what you then want to do is you can then say you tweet this. So this, when I come to my, it's actually, it has been created. Right, I hope you guys are still there. and so on. But this is how you create a space. So now, in terms of now marketing the space, I think it's a lot to do with now you know, like getting people to retweet it, sharing it, and all of that. Yeah. Do you have any questions? Right, so I think there are no questions now. Which is great. Yeah. Questions. All right. So I think if there are no questions, then that's great. And I hope you guys are happy and so on. I hope we're providing value to you. I think looking at the time, I think maybe perhaps we can end here. Then we resume tomorrow. Today, I think perhaps it's you can just go and really reinforce what we have learned to see. Then we pick it up again tomorrow at the same time at 9 a.m. I don't know if there are any questions so far. I hope the workshop has been very valuable, has added value to you. And also again, before you leave, also kindly let me know some of the issues that you want me to talk about tomorrow. But briefly, I can tell you that tomorrow when I look at things like TikTok marketing, when I look at a bit of video, photography, and other platforms that we really didn't go through today, including LinkedIn and so on. So tomorrow, it's going to be quite exciting. Both sometimes when I look at how do you come up with the concept for a video, you execute it, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
But tomorrow is a practical session. Is there anything that you want me to bring?
Yeah. So I think today, even today, we're doing a bit of practical. So tomorrow again, I think the emphasis, like what Abigail was saying, is more on the practical bit. Yeah, but I like the engagement today. It was really, really encouraging, really, really good. We'll also look at tomorrow, we'll also develop a digital marketing campaign and strategy document for each organization. So this is also something that we'll get to do. Because today, I think part of what we're doing is to look at all the platforms, some of the platforms, just to see how they work. So that when we did talk about how to create a digital marketing strategy, everyone is, yeah. So everything has been, so everything will be clear. All right, awesome. So let's meet again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, are we good and ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow 9 o'clock.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, guys.